Severe thunderstorm warning is for Livingston, Lyon, Marshall, and Callaway counties. That was issued moments ago. We're talking still till 2:15 until that warning will expire. But why we jumped into programming is for this hook shape that you see showing up just between Alamo and Hardin back into Penny, just north of the Murray area. So tornado warning has been issued until 2:30. Again, switching this back over to the velocities. This is just to the south of Alamo. And if it continues to the north and east, we're talking passing very close to Hicko, south of Aurora, likely between Aurora and Faxton, making its way towards Canton and Barkley Shores. So while this looks like it's a good distance from you right now would be the time to make sure you're getting to shelter and you are seeking that safe place. Let's see if we can get an idea of how fast this is going, and we'll throw a track on here to give you a better idea of some of this timing when it comes to this storm. So it looks like it is moving at about 65 miles per hour. So we'll get this up here and give you a rough estimate of some of those time frames. That way you can properly prepare. Again, these are just estimates. These are not to be taken verbatim. So again, downstream, moving about 60 to 65 miles per hour, dropping that track in. We're talking about getting to Katie's by about 2:30. So by 2:30, if this were to hold together, Katie's, you're outside of the warning, but it would be making its way your direction. So if you have to take a while to get to that safe place, it's going to take you a minute to get to a friend's house or to a basement. Now would be the time to do that, even though it seems like it's quite a ways from you, because that's about 20 minutes or so, a little bit more than 20 minutes away from you. So widen back out the radar here. We've got a lot of activity. We have jumped in for that tornado warning in parts of western Kentucky, in particular off into Callaway County and through the southern portions of Marshall County as well. But still seeing a lot of activity showing up on the radar. So maybe you're just joining us from southern Illinois. If you are in southern Illinois, I mean, there is still a lot of activity. We don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings on the board for you. Heavy rain falling through parts of Hamilton, back down into Franklin, extending into Williamson. Some steady rainfall across the southern Massac and Alexander County, seeing some very heavy rainfall. But something else to note is we do have that tornado watch that had been issued for nearly the entire area until 4 p.m. We're going to clean up this view for you. That's starting to be carved back. So this initial line of storms, and actually it looks like we've got a pink blinking box now, maybe a confirmed tornado. Is that correct, Nick?
Yeah, so that is correct. We are tracking this. It looks like it's probably still not on the ground, but just a few minutes ago, as this was moving into the northern side of, and there it is, kind of on the northern side of Callaway County, and then actually the warning maybe was a little issued maybe to the north side there of Murray. You kind of see as the area of rotation passes through that area, and we've been tracking this. You and I were just talking about this a little while ago. There's a couple areas. We've seen these quite a bit often this afternoon, but this was at, say, 2 o'clock. So this was about 10 minutes ago, and this was just to the north and west of Murray towards the Coldwater area. And, again, there's Coldwater here, there's Penny, and there's Murray right here. So it looks like this was probably, it did have a brief touchdown. I don't see any reports of damage from this, but there probably was a brief touchdown as this was going through the Coldwater area, and then it kind of picked back up. So very fast moving, what we call QLCS, or very kind of embedded in these lines of storms, but and kind of embedded it just in this big old storm. But as you mentioned, yeah, this is now a confirmed tornado warning as this continues to work its way eastward. So Kentucky Lake here, Lake Barkley, and so this is really past the Murray area right now, tornado warning again until 2:30 this morning. But this is now to the east of the Murray area, at least as far as the concern goes. Still seeing some signs of rotation in this, kind of going back and forth between products to see which one shows it best. And there it was just a little while ago. And it wasn't really defined. I mean, we had a little area right there. This was actually southeastern Graves County. And maybe right there, as it was going north and eastward, again, towards the Coldwater area, it does look like that was kind of lined up with where we had a debris signature. So this was, again, this was roughly 12, 13 minutes ago. And you can see the timestamp here, 1:59. So there was where we had the confirmed tornado on the ground and the debris getting picked up. And then as it continued eastward, It was there for a couple of radar scans, and it looks like as this then pushed east and north of Murray, it kind of dissipated. So we're going to kind of hope that that's the case. Still, though, there is an area of rotation here. I know you've been tracking, JC, and talking about, really once this line of storms goes through, we get into the clear. But Van Cleve, Shiloh, Faxon right now, and then again, this is Kentucky Lake. So this is going to be east of the Murray area. JC, are you seeing any reports? Are you still kind of seeing this area of rotation we're talking about here, though, to the north and east of Murray?
Yeah, still see that pretty close to the Alamo area, working its way towards Hickco. And, of course, Aurora looks like the latest scan, maybe a little less defined, which, of course, is good news. But we've kind of been watching this, and at times it'll tighten up and then loosen back up. So that's what we often see within some of these lines of storms as they're making their way through. They'll tighten up and drop that tornado or that funnel down and then pull back pretty quickly. So we're going to keep a close eye on this as it moves through. Again, like we saw in some of these products, we did see maybe an indication of that it did touch down a little bit further closer to the west. So just off to the west of Murray, track through the Murray area. Now we're watching close to Hickco. This would be moving just to the south of Aurora, between Aurora and Boatwright, so just to the north of Boatwright. But there has been, you see this pink blinking box. When we're talking about a confirmed tornado warning, we'll have that red blinking box indicating a tornado warning. But once this turns pink, that does indicate that we do have a confirmed tornado, or we did at one point. So this warning does go until 2:30. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on it as it makes its way through. At this point, not seeing a whole lot of reports coming in from folks just yet. Have you seen any damage reports?
No, I really haven't, and that's kind of one of the reasons, we wanted to break in the program. Obviously, we had a report of a tornado on the ground. The National Weather Service saw that on radar. There was the possibility that there was a tornado on the ground, but I'm not really seeing any reports yet come through. Now, that doesn't mean that we didn't have a tornado go through. Obviously, if we did, there's a lot of damage, and people have to kind of catch up with that. I wanted to show you, this is a little bit farther northward, but kind of on the back side of this, a lot of heavy rain coming down right now. So even though the severe weather threat is really on the leading edge of this, whether you're in the severe weather threat or not still, you are still going to continue to see some very heavy rainfall here for a little while longer. Kind of taking an overwide view of everything that we've got going on. There's the line of storms, some severe thunderstorm warnings now to our east, out across parts of the Evansville metro area. Once again, the line of storms making its way through western Kentucky. So there's the leading edge. And I am good to say that right now, Cave and Rock, you guys are still dealing with a very heavy thunderstorm. You're not in a warning at this time by any means, but here over the next 5 to 10 minutes, we do expect that heavy rain at least to lighten up just a bit. And then behind this, you are finally in the clear. Southeast Missouri, all in the clear. No severe weather expected here through the rest of this afternoon. Southern Illinois, outside the one little tip of parts of Hardin County, mostly in the clear as well. So relax. We haven't, again, we had a pretty strong tornado move across parts of southeast Missouri this morning. And then another brief touchdown, as that's a possibility right now as we continue to track this line into western Kentucky. So I'm going to go back in. Again, these are very fast moving. Oftentimes when we're talking about these types of tornadoes that do develop, they do occur very quickly. And they will touch down very quickly. They might track for a mile or two, and then they pick right back up. That's usually the case in this instance. So tornado warning does continue until 2:30, so for about another 14 minutes. The area of rotation that we were tracking, if we go back and try to find that was right here a little while ago, just to the east and northeast of Linville, Kentucky. So that passed just to the north and west of Murray. There it was, and then we had the tornado warning issued. And to be honest, these occur so quickly, you can see that when the box actually gets plotted in here, the debris is detected right here. And then by the time the warning's actually issued on these, because again, they occur very fast, it kind of fades away. So a very brief touchdown possible in the western side of Callaway County to the north and west there of Murray, but then not seeing those same characteristics as this was tracking to the east. So some good news there, possibly that we at least have seen that come to an end, and possibly seeing that tornado threat actually come to an end. But we're going to hope that that continues to be the case, as this storm will once again be crossing over the land between the lakes area, Kentucky Lake. It's approaching that area very shortly. Seeing if we have any reports that are coming in. And we had some reports 4 miles northwest of Murray of about a 44-mile-per-hour wind gust. And it's possible that with a storm like this, you got kind of caught into the inflow into this storm, and that's what you were seeing there. But again, it is a good news that we have likely seen the rotation at least start to weaken. And I don't see any concerns right now that jump out at me that we are seeing a tornado or we are seeing the threat of a tornado in the immediate future. Do you happen to see anything, JC?
Not seeing any new reports coming down. The only thing to pass along is the National Weather Service has canceled a little bit more of that tornado watch that's for portions of northwest Tennessee. So that will include Lake and Obion counties. So all of the yellow counties that you see on this map highlighted really along and east of Interstate 57 are still under that tornado watch until 4 p.m. However, as that leading edge of storms continues to work its way to the east, I'll expect that we continue to see these carved away as that severe threat comes to an end. So we do expect this threat to end a little bit earlier than 4 p.m. But until this initial line and leading line of storms makes its way through, that's something that we will continue to monitor. Nick kind of broke this down a little bit for you earlier. Across southern Illinois, we'll zoom in a bit closer. We've still got some steady rainfall falling across really the eastern half of the area. Even some of that heavier rain that was still falling in parts of Hardin County starting to make its way eastward and out of the area. So most of southern Illinois at this point, aside from that rain, really starting to see that severe threat drop off. You can rest easy. You are in the clear. And then we're seeing that back across the parts of southeastern Missouri as well. Again, still seeing that rain, but the strong storms are now east of you. And then where we're keeping our eye out is, of course, in western Kentucky, not just where we have that tornado warning, but that line of storms that extends up through the Carmack, Fredonia, and Marion area. So this is getting very close to the edge of our region. It'll start to make the stronger line will start to make its way through Caldwell County, through the Princeton region, and eventually push east of us. And let's see if we can go back, zoom back in on that tornado warning. That is why we broke into programming. Like Nick mentioned before, they pop up very quickly, and then almost as soon as they drop down, it's not very long, maybe a mile or so, and then they are gone again already. But that tornado warning does go until 2:30, so we're going to continue to keep a close eye on this. At this time, not quite as concerning as what we saw earlier, but we will continue to monitor this as it makes its way through the region. If we were to see that tighten back up, we're talking about the Canton, Berkeley Shores area, and then to the north and east. Have we had any new reports of any damage, wind gusts coming down?
No, I'm actually a little surprised by that. I was kind of waiting to see if we were to get any new reports in here, especially because of where it hit. All right, there we go. We just got one in. Looks like per land between the lakes law enforcement, there is a tornado on the ground at Fenton. So that would be possibly another brief touchdown. So let's zoom right back in on that storm cell. And I'm still seeing that we do have some signs. I have to go through and find exactly what we're looking at and where we're seeing this right now show up. But let's see here if we can find what we're talking about. Exactly pinpointing exactly what we're seeing. Again, that was near the Fenton, Kentucky area, said that crossing Kentucky Lake, the possibility of a tornado on the ground. Again, that was a report that just came in here a few minutes ago. I'm kind of zooming around, seeing if we don't have any debris getting picked up. There still is a little area of rotation here, and I would really say that there's Faxon, and then the area of rotation that we have been tracking is kind of on the north side. It looks like they went ahead and issued a new tornado warning for that. So that's now for Trigg County in western Kentucky as a result of that. That is going to be crossing over once again right up into this area here, that tracking the possibility of another tornado on the ground. So this is going to actually be moving closer to the Cadiz area, Cadiz, Kentucky, and tracking up Highway 68 shortly. Again, the possibility of a tornado there on the ground, and we are starting to get a couple of reports. It looks like they went ahead and canceled the tornado warning for Callaway and Marshall County. So we're going to stay with you here for just a few more moments. This is really starting to move out of our viewing area and start to move more into the Nashville viewing area, but we're going to stay with you here for just a few more minutes as we continue to track this. Again, a new tornado warning there for, I believe, Trigg County, Kentucky. That will run until 2:30. And looks like we still have a tornado warning as well for a new one that just came in here recently as well. So, again, that is going to be an area a little bit farther to the north and east. We did have a confirmation, at least briefly on radar, that there was a tornado in this storm and that a tornado warning did occur with this storm. So there is the possibility that we have seen that another one actually occur in this as well. But we continue to see... Well, I'll tell you, it's really tough to find here. But there is the chance that we do have still a tornado on the ground here. Again, that was going to be at Fenton, Kentucky, which is going to be very close to, it's in Trigg County. It's going to be right on to Kentucky Lake. In fact, actually on the east side of the lake. So that is going to be in that same area that we're talking about, and the possibility that we are still talking about the same couplet, same area of rotation right up in here, right up close to Highway 68. So again, it looks like that is going to be likely just to the east of Aurora. And let me slide back over. JC, you were looking at our debris tracker. And I'm going to see if we can actually see. Well, I don't know. That's kind of convoluted there. I don't have enough confidence, at least, to say that that's the possibility of debris. But it would be in that area that we would be looking. But I don't have enough confidence, at least, to say that for sure is what you're looking at. But again, we did have a report just a few minutes ago of a tornado crossing over Kentucky Lake at Highway 68. That would be at the Fenton area. So that would be right where we're talking about. Would see that coming through, and that was a report that was relayed in, I believe, through an emergency manager. So we are getting a couple reports coming in, mainly some strong straight-line wind damage. It does appear that's mainly what we're seeing as a result of this. But again, we could be seeing some other reports, possibly a weak tornado that did occur back to towards the Coldwater area there in Callaway County, and this storm now making its way east of our region and continuing to push away from us. Kind of give a quick breakdown of everything we've got going on. We're going to stay with you for as long as we have a tornado warning, of course, on the board right now. But Trigg County in particular, that's where we are most concerned with. Far southeastern parts of Callaway County, continue to track that. But eastern Trigg County is right here. Again, Trigg County actually not in our viewing area. And then we've got Lyon County. We've also got Crittenden County dealing with some heavy rain right now making its way through. But the main concern still remains this storm a little bit farther to the south. Once again, it just went through Callaway County, starting to exit. And that is going to be crossing Kentucky Lake very shortly. So confirmed tornado warning that was issued with that initially, because we did have a confirmed tornado on the ground, likely just to the north and west of Murray, Kentucky, just a little while ago. That was closer to 2 p.m. Meanwhile, to the north, continuing to track lots and lots of heavy rainfall. Rain still falling in areas of southern Illinois. We've got one more band. It's kind of the back edge of it right through here. So we are watching one little more band there through northern Bollinger County. And folks in Bollinger County finally should start to the leading or the back edge of this is really now moving through your area. So I know that you guys have a lot of cleanup after a strong tornado moved through early this morning. The back edge of the rain moving through now, and then things start to dry out. So at least a lot of folks will be getting into some of those areas and trying to do some of the cleanup, and they will start seeing some dry conditions return there. So good news, I guess, for some of those folks. Tornado watch does continue for parts of the region, primarily southern Illinois. We're talking mainly along and east of I-57, I-24. But I'm here to tell you that we are going to start seeing this watch canceled. We've already seen that in some of our southwest Illinois counties, much of southeast Missouri as well. So southern Illinois, you are in the clear as far as severe weather goes. All right, you are in the clear right now. What we are tracking still, though, tornado watch also remains in effect for parts of western Kentucky. Again, that tornado watch officially runs until 4 p.m., but we are starting to see that the National Weather Service cancel that as we are seeing the severe weather threat end in that area. We are going to zoom back in, again, a few more minutes on the tornado warning. That is now really moving away from us, but the leading edge of a very strong storm line that we've been tracking this afternoon. And we still have a tornado warning that is still in effect for parts of southeastern Marshall County, much of Callaway County. And that will continue once again until 2:30. We do have another tornado warning that is for Trigg County, so that really encompasses the land between the lakes area. We had a report just a few minutes ago of a tornado possibly crossing over Kentucky Lake near Highway 68. So that would put it in line. And folks, if you do have some friends, you have some relatives that may live in Cadiz, Kentucky, reach out to them. Let them know that there is a very strong storm just to their west, just approaching that area, and that storm has had a history of possibly producing a tornado here just over the last little while, but we are continuing to track that as it makes its way eastward. JC, are you seeing any more reports come in? I mean, we're seeing some basic reports, maybe a few trees down, a few power lines down in a few areas, but at this point I haven't seen anything that is substantial to say that we actually had a tornado on the ground.
We are getting a couple of reports. Not confirmed at this time, but maybe some damage to a roof and a chemical plant in Murray. We'll have to look into that to verify that, and then just some trees down, possibly in Lynn Grove, Kentucky. So those are the only two reports that have come in so far from this storm. I imagine we'll start to get more as this storm moves out of the area. It looks like maybe a tree across the road as well at Highway 93. That's the north half mile from junction of Highway 62. So that is in Lyon County. So if you are in that area and you are out or you're getting out afterwards or heading home from work, maybe allow yourself some extra time to get around if some trees and things are damaged or down across the roads.
Yeah, and, continuing again to just kind of widen out and give folks, I know that there has been a lot of folks that have maybe been a little anxious about everything that's been tracking through the area today. When we hear the loud, heavy rain, all the thunder, the lightning, the gust, the winds picking up quite a bit, we get a little concerned. I know that's our natural instinct. But again, what we are telling you, if you're in southern Illinois and southeast Missouri, you are in the clear right now. The severe weather threat has ended for you. In fact, much of western Kentucky, the severe weather threat has ended now. We are going to be tracking the last of these storms. And notice new severe thunderstorm warning issued farther eastward. That is east of our viewing area. That is moving now into parts of central Kentucky. The Pennyroyal region staying, say, anywhere from Hopkinsville northward. So that is moving away from us. Once this line clears Lake Barkley, it will be completely moving out of our region. But still a very strong line of storms there making its way through, say, Lyon County, moving through parts of Princeton right now. That tornado warning that we did break into programming for about a half an hour ago should be coming down here very shortly. It was set to expire, I believe, at 2:30, so we are probably going to send you back to regular programming here shortly. But again, that was a tornado warning that was issued for Callaway County. That was issued at about 2 o'clock for the possibility of a confirmed tornado with that. And there you go. So it looks like the tornado warnings are off the board. Again, just a complete rundown. We do have still a tornado watch that is in effect. I'm going to go back to that real quickly before we send you back. But again, if you are in southern Illinois, we're likely going to see this tornado watch getting canceled here shortly because I do think that the severe weather threat has ended there. Western Kentucky, again, the line of storms moving out of the far eastern parts of our viewing area here shortly. And then we should start to see the severe weather threat really wrap up for the entire region. Things will start to calm down tonight. And some cooler air is set to arrive back into our region as well. Of course, stay right here with News 3. We're going to continue to pass along updates to you. Meteorologist Katie Melvin is in. She's going to have the latest forecast coming up at 4. And then, of course, meteorologist J.C. Brienne. She's been with us really even early this morning. So she's going to have an update as well as we make our way into the evening. Again, we've got you covered right here at News 3.